may I please request Dr. Ravi Shekhar, Chief Scientist, CRRI, Government of India, to please come up on the dais and share your perspective of CRRI. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everybody. Myself, Dr. C.H. Ravi Shekhar, Chief Scientist, Central Road Research Institute. Today's my presentation not exactly related to battery. We are not a manufacturer. First of all, I would like to convey my background of this study. So we are not manufacturers of the batteries, or we are not manufacturers of any kind of the, car, like any vehicle kind of thing. Generally, we are the research organizations. What we will do generally, the any kind of policy decisions, government or maybe private industries are like incorporating in the market, or maybe like user perception. So it is a barrier between the developers and also the user perception. So what really the like supply and demand based. So this is the supply of the system and demand and system. So how we can you, compromise the system, and what kind of the needs are required for the current scenario and also the future scenario. So as a part of this, we had some kind of research project from the government of India. So that is about the electric vehicle charging stations, because now you see many charging stations are started now in India. So there is no kind of guidelines where to be kept the charging stations, and where like they are already having the charging stations existing fuel stations. So for example, like what is the demand? If you see any kind of Europe and other countries, they have some kind of optimization kind of the policies. So where to be kept, how many number of stations are required for the two-wheelers, how many number of stations are required for the cars. So we don't have any guidelines. We started with a randomly. So that's why today presentation will give some kind of the background about the data collected from the Delhi, and so what the need the users. That is the one of the kind of the things. Like today's my presentations mainly will focus on the role of the like what is the role of the users of the in the transportation department. And also I would like to explain, before going to deep into the about the topic, I would like to discuss about my company's profile. So coming to my company profile, CRRI. So Central Road Research Institute is established in 1952 under the Government of India, the CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research System. And we have the 32 laboratories, different laboratories are there. Like every laboratory have the individual a goal and a vision and other kind of the things. CRRI is establishment only meant for the road development. Like for example, design of the roads, planning of the roads, or maybe policy guidelines and environmental kind of the pollution, those kind of things to be discussed. So this organization comes under Prime Minister of India is our the President, and Department of Science and Technology, the Minister, Honorable Minister Jitendra Singh is our the Vice President, and also every all labs on DC is there. And currently our Director, Professor Manoranjan Parida, he is from the IIT Roorkee. And our missional goal is that development of the Central Road Research Institute endeavors to provide techno-economic solutions to the diverse technical problems faced in the area of the transportation engineering. So we have the 8 R&D divisions. So flexible payment, rigid payment, and traffic engineering division, geotechnical engineering division, bridge engineering division. So what we will have, like the technologies, advanced technology, LIDAR technology, any survey kind of the technology, any kind of advanced technology, application to the transportation engineering field, or bridge engineering, or geotechnical engineering, we will generally study the technology, those things. So we have the 83 scientists and technical staffs and other supporting staffs. So our lab is established in the Madura Road near to the Apollo Hospital. Coming to today's main point of the today's presentations, why people thinking about the importance of the electrical vehicle, particularly low maintenance cost. That is one of the advantages, because user wants the maintenance cost should be less. And second one is the noise pollution. These days, lot of studies and guidelines are happening for the study of the noise. So particularly the electrical vehicle as compared to other vehicles, noise pollution is less. So it still needs studies in India. So we are discussing about those points, but we are not studying about things. And low operating cost and better for energy security. Because you see, as a developer of the battery, you are developing a battery, but you are once installed in the vehicle. So how it is operating on the roads? Two kinds of roads are there. One is the rigid pavement road, concrete roads, and the other one is the flexible pavement road. So how the performance of the vehicles, using the particular the battery, that is more important. Those kind of the studies we will generally do in the research point of view. So now coming to the, like if you see where we stand, like you see the international, the ministry have added like 5017. This is the data of the 2020. Now the penetrations are more, because in the beginning stage we have very less penetration of the electrical vehicle. Now we have the lot of vehicle. So now the question is that how to maintain, how to provide this demand. Like for example, demand increases, how to manage the supply. So that is the question will arise after the 3-4 years. That is one of the important point. So now coming to the like world point of view, so where we stand. So why we talk about the electrical vehicles, that is more important. You can see the progress of the, like the improvement of the electrical vehicle growth, like any vehicle growth 1915 to 1920, and also the national like determined contribution of transportation initiative Asia. So like given some kind of guidelines, NTC, TIA joint program. So this is also like where we standard from the point of view. So now coming to the like India Pacific point of view. So main point is that, so India's like vehicle growth rate. So generally, like we will consider about the total CAGR, cumulative, like India's percentage of vehicle increment for the annual growth rate. So that is from the 2011 to 2020, you see 4% CAGR. During the 2016, transport sector contributed to 2070 million tons of CO2. So, so one is the contribution of the battery. You are all are involving into the development of battery. It is nothing but reduction of the pollution, cutting of the pollution. Because most of the cities like Delhi, if you see the Delhi pollution level very high, even in the index levels are 3 times or 2 times are very high as compared to the normal standard marks. So if you are shifting to the battery, now people are confusing state. So whether I have to take the electrical vehicle or not to be taken the electrical vehicle, still people are the penetration rate not is very high. So means the shifting is depends upon the behavioral attitude of the driver. For example, government policies. Government is giving some kind of subsidy, so 30%, 20%. So people will have the shifting from one vehicle to another vehicle. Again, there is a lot of e-commerces are coming, particularly the two-wheelers category. Lot of two-wheelers are coming. So there is no control. One is that increment of the two-wheeler on the traffic. Already cities like Delhi is already like congestion is there. Already congested cities. So if you are adding the more number of two-wheelers, so if replacement of the batteries, so it will be give the control of the pollution, particularly in the case of the cities like Delhi. So some cities in India, like you see Vadodara and Ahmedabad kind of the cities, the two-wheeler populations are 60%. So if you are drastically the two-wheeler population 60% to 50%, so if replaced by the 30% replaced by the any electrical two-wheelers, so it will be very good, useful to the society to control the production of environmental pollutions. So now coming to the so India pollution point of view, I don't want to go into much detail. So India is ranked 5th world's most polluted countries in the world, and also 6th world of 10th most polluted cities were India in 2023. So not only Delhi, and if you compare to other countries and anything, so we can see that our like, if you compare with the global, so European, the shifting of the electrical vehicle, the benefit, you see the shifting, if your vehicles are shifted towards the electrical vehicle, what would be the benefit? You can see European guidelines 74%, and you can see other countries, like in India, still we are in the stage of this initial stage. So there should be a possibility of the, now the penetration rate is not very high. The penetration rate is started in the category of the two-wheelers. So in the category of the public transportation, in the category of the four-wheeler, then will be good benefit to the society. But that is the like goal to the government of India to consider into the presentations. So I don't want to discuss much about this one. So any kind of the system, you need a players. One is the supply side players, demand side players, and also the other secondary players. You see the concept of here is that, for example, if government, the supply is more and demand is less, that is also a problem. If demand is more and the supply is not there. That is, for example, if you see like 20 years back, CNG in Delhi, so it was installed like very few stations are there. So there is a lot of queues in front of the CNG, and there is a lot of congestion happened on the road network, that is created again the pollution to the road network. So now if your batteries are maybe shifted to the electrical vehicles, there is a need of optimum kind of the electrical vehicle station. For example, your all people are talking about changing the like introducing the batteries, shifting towards the electrical vehicle. So how many stations are required for the particular cities? So what are the guidelines? So government had to be followed. What kind of the guidelines? So these are all will be questions will come here. So similarly, the strategy of the government of India. So you can see alternative fuels infrastructure directive. So this figure it mentioned that so member nation should target ratio of 0.1, that is every 10 electrical vehicle there should be one public charge. So you can see India where it is less, very lower limited. So if you are not like planned, for example, one is that the manufacturers are developing, the everything is changing. So if you are not government is not planned for the policy kind of the decisions or guidelines, so it will be a big gap between the supply and demand. Coming to these are the guidelines I cannot able to discuss. Government of heavy industries are given a lot of guidelines, FAME2 and PLS scheme, battery switching policy, special electrical mobility zone, tax reduction on EV. Lot of policies are there. The question is now there are the two criteria are there in the market, particularly the battery point of view, battery charging and battery swapping. These are the two conditions are there. At the end, I will show some kind of the data which were collected in the decision. So industry, you can see like other countries, what they are taking the main parameters, any kind of the stations deciding will be depends upon the charging station cost, value of the time, and duty of travel time required. These are the three parameters are required to fix the station in the particular zone. So that kind of the studies are required for India to where to be fuel station. Similarly, like electrical station to be required in the particular road network. That is more important. So like this is a research study. So the main key parameters are the EV sales and trends in India. So that has to be studied, properly studied. What would be the like after 10 years, what would the penetration rate? Once you estimated proper penetration rate, then only you can able to estimate the demand or maybe supply based model for the future. So the difference is urban and regional. There are the two criteria are there. For example, if you are planning for the urban road network, if you are planning for the long term, because why people are not shifting the electrical vehicle? Because of range anxiety. For example, if you travel on the road, so if you travel from Delhi to any kind of Chandigarh, if you are not find out any electrical station, so you cannot use the electrical vehicle. So that is the range anxiety. So if you are introduced so many things, if you are not planned the stations on interurban roads, national highways, expressway, so why people will shift to the electrical vehicle. So those kind of the studies are required for any kind of thing. These are the like research work done at the CRRI. Particularly, we have calculated the optimum number of stations are required for the any kind of the city, and also EV technology accept consumer point of view collected the data, and other behavioral patterns also we collected the data, and we can like these are the some kind of the policy decision. I will skip that one. This is the summary kind of the thing. You can see the vehicle in the Indian market. You can see that electrical two-wheeler category and the power and the battery power, three-wheeler cars, and also the other vehicle public transportation system. These kind of the battery ranges have been collected from the users, so it will be useful for the optimization kind of the thing. So particularly in the government point of view, charging infrastructure facilities, public-private partnership is the more important, and also strategic placement where to be placed, and charging speed options. So slow charging, medium charging, and fast charging kind of thing, and private sector innovation, and reducing the range anxiety. I told already, range anxiety you are reduced. People will shift to the like diesel or petrol car to the electrical vehicles. So range anxiety is a more important parameter to shifting of the vehicles, any kind of the transportation system. So I will skip another thing. We collected the data in Delhi in the month of January to February, and the data we have collected so many like questions in 24 questions are kept in the question survey. We have collected in the month of February 27 to March 23, and total 2019 2,952 samples were collected in Delhi. It spreads across the Delhi. So various fuel stations already existed in Delhi. So we collected the user perception. This is very much useful to plan the future. That is the more important for the government kind of the things. So we can see that Wakla industrial area, metro stations, and Connaught Place, and various category of the vehicles also collected. And we collected the user opinion. So what is their main performance, interest to shifting to the like user from the fuel petrol to the electrical vehicle, and also the what is their charging time, and also the like waiting time, and all kind of the parameters have been done. And you can see here the samples collected spread, like cars are 52%, and three-wheelers are 23%, and two-wheelers are the 7%. So these figures will give an idea, like the composition of the electrical vehicles currently in the market. So based on that, the market peoples and developers and everybody have a focus on their strategies. That is also one of the important. You can see the average range of the car is 213 kilometers, and car charging frequency is 1.5 times per day, whereas the two-wheelers is 1.8 times per day. So these are the parameters collected for the like two-wheelers category and car category, and what is the most of the electrical vehicles have range less than 70 kilometers. And also why this is useful, I will close in 2 minutes. So what I will do, like why these parameters are useful. So like the station's frequency in the within the zone, these are the very important. If you taken a lot of vehicles, if you have not planned anything, that will be created a congestion. So that is the kind of the things. And not only for that, we have collected the other charging related informations from the user point of view. And other like willingness to, so this is more important, willingness to pay. For example, your charging stations are there, whether you are willing to pay such kind of the amount, 5 rupees, 10 rupees, 15 rupees, what would be the like they're willing shifting towards one vehicle to another vehicle. These kind of the parameters are very useful to fix a station or maybe number of stations in a particular zone area. Similarly, we have collected the three-wheeler autos information also collected. The average costing 50 rupees per unit when using the slow charger. So I will close it. So finally, four-wheeler category also we collected, and also the brands in the market. You can see that also we collected. What are the brands currently having in the market in the particularly the car zone area, and also fast charging and slow charging areas. These are the very much useful information. Is a very preliminary level. This information we are using to develop a policy guidelines for India. Probably by end of this December, we are coming out with some kind of the policy vehicle. So what we did it particularly for the two-wheelers battery charging and only charging and swapping areas, we collected the information. Now you can see the last table. What are the average like average frequency per month? How many number of times they are charging the two-wheeler and swapping the batteries, how much time is required, slow charging, fast charging, all the information we collected. For example, like we have developed a model. For example, the vehicles are coming to the station, arrival rate is more number of vehicles are coming, how many battery swapping stations are required. So these kind of mathematical models were developed. For example, lot of people are coming to the particular station, they want to swapping the battery. So it will be huge congestion will be taking place. So we have developed like arrival rate, 10 vehicles, 15 vehicles, 20 vehicles per minute. So what would be the number of stations are required? What is the waiting time is required? The service time. For example, this is kind of the calculation where the you are going to the toll plaza. If there is only one booth, there are a lot of queues will be there. So if the toll booths are more, or maybe servicing by manual, servicing by laser, servicing by different servicing time. So these kind of the estimations we are done, and we are developing a guidelines for the like Indian. So we would like to give these guidelines for the Indian government by end of this December. So probably we conducted a workshop in the month of like recently September 23. We invited all exhibitors and all other policy makers, and their opinion we have taken. So we are come out some kind of the policy guidelines. That is about my today's presentation. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
First of all, I must compliment you, Dr. Shekhar. My name is Praveen Kumar Sood. I'm into electronics since 1975 and into battery business since 1995. My question is very simple. All the policies, everything that you are saying is it's okay. But do you understand the policy? Because it has been the biggest challenge even up to Niti Aayog. The people making the policies are not technocrats. Because we are talking about electric vehicles here. We don't have a single university, if you can name it, teaching electrochemistry. If you have any information, please tell me. The leading laboratory of CSIR, CRRI, the entire team is in touch with me always.
Yes.
The problem is battery swapping. Do you know what are the problems in the battery swapping and why the kind of models that are being suggested would not succeed? And then we are talking about fast charging. How many people understand the problems of fast charging without understanding the state of charge of the battery pack use? So it's a very, very lengthy discussion. I would not like to take more time, but I wish you address these issues in future.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for your information. Particularly, I am in a civil engineering and transportation engineering background. So our DZ, current Kalai Selvi, Dr. Kalai Selvi from the battery and cell-oriented technology development from she is understand. But your point is valid. Particularly the Indian government, they don't have any policies. So our aim is to like decongest the roads, particularly the decongest the roads. We have seen the shifting one fuel to another fuel, CNG. Lot of roads are congested and the stations are adjacent to the near to the station. Similarly, the people, future 10%, 20% vehicle composition shifted towards the electrical vehicle. One is the demand of the power, another one is the stations are not ready to handle the this kind of the vehicle. So that will be a huge congestion on the road network, and it will again pollution created or maybe some kind of the problem. So that's why you said already that we are studying the literature of Indian point of view, not European and other kind of guidelines, because those guidelines are completely different. European guidelines are there. So now we are studying all the literature like low charging, like slow charging vehicles and also fast charging vehicles and battery swapping and battery. So we will come out with some kind of the guidelines. That's why we are going from the user. So always we are taking the information from the user, the problems from the user. Any manufacturer, any government, finally the beneficiaries are the user. So user opinion is the main point to construct the developer guidelines. Then we are also taking the information from the developers, like battery operators or the companies, other. That's why we conducted one workshop to take the information from the automobile industry as well as the battery manufacturers. So few people were taken here, and also I would like to, why I particularly came this workshop is mainly for to listen some kind of the problems from the battery developers or operators particularly. That's why your question is valid. We will take care in the guidelines. Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir, for your answer. Do we have any more questions from the audience? Any more? Thank you so much, Dr. Shekhar, for sharing your detailed insights with us, with the audience today. May I please request Mr. Tapas Chatterjee, Director Recycling Management Private Limited, and Dr. Rajiv Mishra, National President, Federation of Electric Vehicle, to please come up on the dais and share a token of appreciation to our respected Dr. Ravi Shekhar, Chief Scientist, CRRI, Government of India, on behalf of Informa Markets India.
I would thankful to Professor Rajiv Shekhar, Ravi Shekhar, and CRRI, as you all know, Central Road Research Institute, we cannot think like they can research on this kind of data and this kind of this energy. And we also met Director Professor Manoranjan Saab, and Federation of Vehicle is associated with this CRRI and had done a one-day seminar and exhibitions thereover. And we are thankful to professors all this. Thank you.